Actually, I come from a Mayan family, so I started to work when I was a little kid, when I was 7 years old. My parents used to say, you know, if you want to do something, if you want to make your dream real, you have to work hard. And I left them, and I went to work with different people in different places in Guatemala. So I was working hard, and many people, you know, like looking at me like, it's not that kids who used to pick up the trash, you know, the garbage, and people couldn't believe that I was that guy. You know, you can be poor economically, but if you are rich inside, you can do whatever you want. And my advice to your people, to you do it, try it. And that way you will see if you can or not, but you have to try it.
I love story. Our lives are story. We engage through story. Now that I am doing American Real, I am able to help tell other people's stories, and there's an art to that. I want people to be inspired by the content, and it's not me, it's the guest. I want them to learn from the guests, as I'm learning from the guests. And once you start to see progress, to me it's motivating and makes you want to work harder to get to the next piece. Now you're pushing us to record episodes, so I had guests in, and I'm learning the technology. And of course we had many challenges and lots of resistance, but I don't know, you just persevere, because when you have a passion for something, you find a way to get it done. I think the biggest breakthrough, I would say after episode 3. And the guests, a couple of guests came up to me after saying, "Thank you for that interview. This was the best interview of my life." That's when I knew, okay, I'm on the right track. I need to keep doing this. I need to tell people's stories. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because when you do it, you'll be surprised the response that you receive. If you're interested in starting your own podcast, join me in Podcast Your Passion. I'll take you through my 8-week course where I'll mentor you to build a world-class podcast. I'm only taking on a small group of people who want to share their passion through broadcasting, where I'll have you up on iTunes and YouTube within weeks, so you can podcast your passion. Click on the link below for more information. This week on American Real, we continue with our Millennial series and welcome Diego Xirum. At a very young age, he had a burning desire to pursue his education. He eventually received a scholarship, coming to the United States, where he settled here in upstate New York, studying English as a second language. Then Diego took all of his knowledge and is helping to install water filtration systems in homes there so people could have clean and healthy water. He's also passing on his knowledge about education so others can prosper, to get scholarships, and broaden their horizons by going to either the United States or other places in the world. So sit back, relax. You're going to enjoy Diego Xirum. This is American Real. I am Roger Brooks, and today we continue with our Millennial series, and my guest is Diego Xirum. Diego, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to share with you today.
Absolutely, and we stumbled upon each other through a mutual friend, Debbie Morello, who's also a guest here in our studio. And I understand you spent a couple of years here in upstate New York.
Right.
But if you can, take us back. How did you end up here for the couple of years that you were here?
Okay. First of all, I'm gonna start saying I'm from a beautiful country that calls Guatemala. It's located in Central America. It's close to Mexico, and actually I come from a Mayan family. So I started to work when I was a little kid, when I was 7 years old, or maybe 7.5, between 7.5, and I started to do many things because we and my family didn't have a house, didn't have a place where to stay. I mean, we didn't have anything. So my parents used to say, you know, if you want to do something, if you want to make your dream real, you have to work hard. And I left them, and I went to work with different people in different places in Guatemala. And then, like 3 years later, I realized that I needed to study because I couldn't speak Spanish. And I started to work hard. And I started to wash dishes in different restaurants. I went to work with people who have a nice house, cleaning the toilet and building houses, and I did many things. And then I grew up, you know, little by little. I went to school, paying my schools by myself, supporting my family and my siblings too, with meals, with money. And then I realized that I was really good with school, so I said I should continue with that. And many people came to me, you know, they wanted me to give up with my dreams, but something that I learned, if you're gonna give up, you will never have a good future. So I was a little, but I think God gave me the wisdom, you know, say I will keep working hard. And then I got to high school, and then I got to college in Guatemala. And after that, I started to work with different non-profit organizations because, you know, when I was a little, we didn't get any help, any support. So what I wanted when I started to work with those non-profit organizations is to help those people that they were having the same situation that I had before. So I was working hard, and many people, you know, like looking at me like, it's not that kids who used to pick up the trash, you know, the garbage, and people couldn't believe that I was that guy. And they say, you know, how come? He's poor. He didn't have anything. How he get a degree? And they were, you know, like, make me to make more strong, show people that nothing is impossible. You can be poor economically, but if you are rich inside, you can do whatever you want.
Wow.
You know, that's what I learned. People are telling me that I couldn't study, that I couldn't do anything because we didn't have anything.
So what inside of you triggered the confidence to be able to start to go after your dreams? Because as you mentioned earlier, there were a lot of people along the way that maybe were negative or didn't think you could do it. So how old were you, and did you always have this confidence, or what did it take?
You know, I believe in God. I'm a Christian. When I was 11 years old, I was complaining about many things with God. God, why are you not allowing us to have a better life? I'm working hard. My family is working hard. And why you are leaving us? You know, I did that several times. I can say probably like almost 1,000 times, complaining with God. In my praying, you know, like, God, if you say, God, why you are allowing us this situation? And one time, I was crying like a baby when I was 11 years old. I was crying. And I have seen people, you know, when they go to church, they fell down, and I say, well, who does that? Nobody touched them, and they fell down. And one time, it just felt something in my heart like, God, if you are real, show me something, do something. Many people talked about you. Show me something. And there where I started with, you know, like to strive myself to do what I wanted to do. One time I was in my room alone, and I told God, God, if you are here, tell me something. I don't want a pastor or somebody who can come to talk about you with me. Talk to me. I want to listen. I want to do what you want, you know, like me to do. And then it took like a couple minutes, you know, I feel something behind me. Like a voice, it says, shh, I'm with you. I am with you. And anything you want to do, you will do, because I'm with you. Dream big, be strong, be patient, and I will take you wherever you want. And then, you know, I just feel like a hug that I can't explain to you. The hug that we receive from our parents, it's not the same. And I just feel cried the whole night. And there is where I realized that God exists. If you tell me right now that God is not here, let me tell you, God is with us. The Holy Spirit is with us today. And there's how I changed the way how I was dreaming. Because when I was a little kid, I wanted to do something great, to teach people. It doesn't matter where you were born. The matter is how do you want to end your life? You are poor, okay, but how do you want to finish, to end your life in this world? So that's what it makes me more strong. Dream a little bit more, bigger, you know. And I'm just not thinking like, okay, I might do something a little. What people say that is impossible, I can say it's possible. And that's how I started, you know, to grow my faith and to dream big. And that's why I'm here.
Phenomenal. So when did you first come to the United States, and what was that for?
I came here in 2011 in Binghamton, New York.
That was your first stop?
First time in the United States.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Before that, I couldn't speak English. That's the big challenge that a big decision that I made before 2011. There was a program in Guatemala before, the USA program. So they were giving scholarship to the Guatemalan to come here in the States. And I remember one of my bosses called me and said, I can see something from you. I don't know what do you have, but I feel and I see, and I said, well, I'm just a simple guy. And then she told me, you know what, why you don't try to get a scholarship in the States? And I remember I told her, you know what, forget it. I tried with the local university in Guatemala, and I didn't get the scholarship. I really wanted to learn English, but I didn't get. And I was complaining with God again, like, God, why you are not helping me? But thank God, this woman came to me, helped me to fill the form. So I came to the part of the embassy in Guatemala, the U.S. embassy in Guatemala. I went there with the team, with the coordinator. So I kept my resume, my information. And I remember that when they are trying to find students, we were like 1,000 students. And then when I went to the office, they said, oh, just leave your profile and ask to the secretary, like, why do you have so many? And she said, well, you are one of them. And I just said, well, I don't know if I will get that scholarship. And it took us 2 years to follow the process, doing kind of community service for all like 1,000 hours of community service.
So all these requirements.
Exactly. It took us 2 years. And at the beginning, we were more than 1,000 students, and then little by little, came down 500, 400, 200, 150. And at the end of the 2 years, George Washington University selected 19 Guatemalan. And I was one of them.
Wow.
So, and I came here and a Broome Community College without knowing anything in English.
All by yourself?
With the host family.
Okay.
But I couldn't talk to them, speak English. And then I started here at BCC taking ESL classes. And little by little, I improved my English. And then I started to take like a normal class with the local students. And there where they kill me. People from New York speak very fast.
Yes.
The first time when one of my teacher, a business teacher, came to us and said, she was talking about homework, and the only word that I understood was homework, and that's it. The first 3-4 months when I came here.
Wow.
And that's how I get involved, you know, like to come here in the United States.
What was your goal? What was your dream at that time? Obviously you wanted to learn the language, but what was your short-term goal? Was it getting a degree?
My short goal was the basic word is to learn English, and then get a business degree. But on behalf of those goals, I wanted to show my people, from my community, that nothing is impossible. That was my main goal. Because in my community, if you were born poor, they put many ideas in your head, and they tell you, you will die poor. You don't have money, you can't do anything. And my goal, I wanted to teach them, to show them that you can. You can. My dad is a farmer. My mom is just like kind of the woman that you have here in the 40 and the 50, washing dishes, cooking at home. None of them have a chance, you know, to go to school. My dad can't read. They can't speak Spanish. They cannot read. But I wanted to show them, you can. The most important here, before I came here, was to show them that the most important thing is what you have inside and you have in your mind. Not your money, It's the power that you have inside of you.
And have you been able to make an impact on your community since that time? What is your like? I know you're living there now.
Right.
What are some of the things? What are some of your goals that you're trying to do to improve your community?
I can say, like in my community, before it was like 90% of the population of my community that didn't want to send their kids to school because for them it was impossible. And then when I went back in 2013, I'm so skinny, but I got some weight here. And they said, he made it. He made it. That 80% that they couldn't study, right now they are studying. Wow. I mean, I didn't change them with my words. I changed them by my actions. And that is what I always tell people, let's stop talking. Just let's stop. Let's do more with our actions. Action is more important than your words. Mm-hmm. Because I see the difference of my people in my community right now. And most of them, believe me, most of them are studying right now. There might be a couple families that they are not sending their kids to school, but most of them, they are studying right now. Mm. And that is the first impact. The second one, because I'm a Mayan, I speak one of the 23 Mayan languages that we have in Guatemala. That's my first language.
What is it? What's it called?
Quiche.
Okay.
Quiche.
Can you talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
For people that don't know, including myself.
Let's say if we want to say good night,
yes,
we say shokakap. Shokakap.
Shokakap.
Exactly.
Okay.
So just to give you an idea, our language is more, like we use more our throat.
Okay.
Shakikh. Good afternoon. Moon, we say ik. That's how it sounds, our language.
And if you're speaking in a sentence, do you speak in sentences?
Yes.
So how would a conversation happen? What would?
Mm-hmm. Let's say I'm gonna say it in everything in Quiche, and I want to explain. Shakikh, renobe tek, en nachchachar eshritinamit, kople nam ushimuleu. Kenschample sintzich lube Quiche, I otskuna wunma in kocho hukihawuk. What I say, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Diego, and I'm from Guatemala.
That's awesome.
That's what I say.
And that's one of 23 Mayan languages?
One of the 23 Mayan languages.
Okay.
And the official language is Spanish in Guatemala. So why I'm talking about the language, because it's really hard to learn the language in our country before. Right now it's getting better. We are getting support from other countries at the school. Like there's one that called IGA, like an institution, like a national institution that teach you English. It's a really good one. But 10 years ago it wasn't good. If you got access to that, you had to pay a lot of money, but I didn't have money. So the other impact that my community got from me is that if he learned English, I can do it too. So that is another thing that I didn't go to them and say, oh, you can do it. Maybe sometimes I did, like, okay, never give up. You can do it. And that's what I tell anybody. If you are 20, if you are 25 years old, it doesn't matter. You can do it. If you have a dream, don't stop. Don't stop, just keep working hard and you will make it.
And how hard was it for you to learn the language? How much time did you put in?
I'm still improving, but I can say
I am
like
too, just so you know.
you know, when part of the program who gave us the scholarship, Georgetown University, who sent us here, one of the rule, kind of a rule that we should live with a family at least 1 year. The host family who can't speak Spanish. So I came with them, and it took me like 3 months, you know, just to learn a little bit. Mm-hmm. At least I could ask for food. It's more important. If you don't feed yourself, you die. I started to learn that. And then I can give you an average, like during 6 months, I understood a little bit more what my teacher was saying with my host family, what the people, you know, the environment, the society from Binghamton, the rules, how it works, things here. 6 months. I can say it took me like 6 months.
And how much were you studying in that 6 months? Were you spending a lot of time reading and trying to learn or listening? How did you, or was it just being with people and?
Well, the program was working this way. You get here, and you start learning, the ESL, like listen and speaking, the grammar, and reading and writing. Those classes that we took since we got here. And we started from 8 to 5 from BCC.
All day.
Working. I just remember when we got here, because I have other former students from Mexico, from El Salvador, from Haiti, from Dominican Republic, from Colombia. So everybody were running because we wanted to learn.
That's
and
awesome.
We worked like almost like 8 hours learning.
So it was a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of effort.
Right.
What does it mean for you to be part of the Mayan civilization?
To me, you know, being part of the Mayan, it's just like being something unique, something that I have learned from a book from the Mayan that called Pop Wuch, which means like a sacred book for the Mayan. And being a Mayan person, I always like to give you a hand if you need help with something. That's what basically the Mayan people have in that book. If you see somebody is hungry, feed them, feed that person. If you see that somebody doesn't have shoes, if you have 2 pairs of shoes, share. That's what the Mayan people did before. They didn't allow you if, let's say that we are running and you fall down. As a Mayan, I have to help you. Why? Because that's how we are as a Mayan. We help each other. And we are still doing that with our neighbor. If somebody is sick and she or he can't wash his clothes or her clothes, and I'm healthy, I can go in their house and I wash them. So that's how the culture in Guatemala works. If tomorrow I will have issues with my money or some economically situation, and you have the possibility to help me, you help me. That's, you know, like how Mayan people, and that's why I say like something unique, because nowadays people don't care about that anymore. Even sometimes families, your brother is rich and you are having a hard process in your life, your brother might be gone, like, okay, it's your business, it's not my business.
And is that something you observe in Guatemala or here or both?
In Guatemala.
Okay.
Part of our culture as a Mayan. So
Okay.
that's what makes us something unique, I can say.
What did you think when you came to the States in comparison to how you grew up with those core principles?
It makes me sad in many areas of the lives here. You have TV, you have bus, you have water, you have electricity. You have there are many opportunities here. And many people here are not happy with that, are not taking advantage of what you have here. In Guatemala, the rural area, no food, no jobs, no bus, no power, no water. If you want water, you have to go to the river, walk 2 hours, and bring your water in a bucket. We wish, believe me, that I wish to bring my people in, or your people, take it with me in Guatemala and show them how we live there. I have seen many youth in the United States complaining about shoes. They have a Nike one, a nice one. They want another one. They have a nice cell phone, an iPhone. They want more. That's what makes me sad. In our country, we don't have those things, and we are happy what we have. And my advice for the youth in the United States is this: if you have a laptop, if your parents are supporting you with school, if they are giving you a car, if they are feeding you, take advantage. Never complain about that. Because that's what I have seen, and that what when I realized years later when I was living here, why they are complaining about this? They have everything. We don't. At home we don't. You want to go to university? Oh yeah, you want? Yes, but there is no university there. You want to travel? Oh yes, okay, walk from here 6 hours per day. So that's, it makes me sad, and that's why I tell to the youth, be happy what you have, and take advantage what your parents are giving to you.
Wow. So I understand there was some civil war going on when your parents met. Is that right?
Yes.
And they survived. Other families did not make it. What do you know about that? What can you tell us?
That happened it started in 1961 in Guatemala. And I think we will never finish this topic, I think. But it's just, started with a company from the United States, a banana company, between Guatemala with our government. So I think my people misunderstand something, and the government wanted to take advantage of that. So, and they confused our people, and they started to kill each other. That's what happened in Guatemala. And I'm living in one of the community that was affected. I can say between the first or second, town that was affected. My parents, they were little, and between 1980s, 1970s. So the soldier got to the community and they started to kill everyone. Everyone. I couldn't meet my grandpa, my grandma, because the soldier killed them, but even my parents don't know where they brought them, they were put them, nobody knows. My dad and my mom, thank God, they escaped. They went through the hills.
How old were they?
My mom was 11, my dad was 14 years old.
And they escaped together or separately?
They escaped together with other kids. With other kids. And there with it started the story when people asking like the age of my parents, like, okay, how many kids do you have? Like 8, 10, 12, because they got married early. And that what happened with them, you know, they started to hang out together when they were like 11 and 13. And they didn't have any choices to come back in the town where they couldn't see how the other people got killed. But some other people said that the women who were pregnant, the soldier took a knife. They cut right here, they took the baby, they smashed. You know, it's something that, you know, our government doesn't like to talk about it. And that's what they did with the pregnant woman. They did worse thing than that. But just to give you an idea about the silver worm in Guatemala. And many people, they escaped. Many people are living in Mexico nowadays, and they don't know anybody in Guatemala because they lost their relatives there. So it started in that year, and it ended in the 1996 in Guatemala, the silver worm.
So it was very brave of your parents to do what they did.
Yes.
But I guess at that point it's all about survival.
Exactly.
And if they were with a group of kids, they probably said, we have no choice. Let's go.
Exactly. Most of the kids, they got killed, they got born. Who wants to stay there?
So let's talk now about the entrepreneur in you.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you've had some ideas brewing from a very young age, and you wanted to make things happen, and you're doing things now that I'd love to learn more about.
Mm-hmm.
I know very little, but I understand it has to do with helping to filter the waters.
Right.
And can you explain about that?
Yes. I'm working for a company that's called Tiva Water. It's a company, a water filter company.
How do you spell it?
T-A-B-A-W-A-T-E-R.
Okay.
It's from Tennessee. The owners of that company are from Tennessee.
Okay.
And what they do is to make the water filters here in the United States, in Michigan, and they ship it to Guatemala. And I help them sometimes to make the connection kind of a business. But at the same time, what I like from this company is that they help other people too, who don't have access to the clean water. Because there are some people that they are just drinking the water, from the rain. They don't have money to buy firewood to boil the water. So Tiva Water is giving them a water filter. Some people, I admire your people. There are some people from the States, they have a really wonderful heart and say, I'm sending 25 water filters to 25 families. Mm-hmm. So and I'm the one who has to find the family who really need the water filter and give them the water filter, explain to them how it works. But at the same time, I'm helping Tiva Water to make connections between the non-profit organizations and some small companies, to help us to help more people. Mm-hmm. And kind of a manager or administrator position that I'm having with them, but I'm not working in the States. I'm working in Guatemala, and actually Tiwawara is not working just in Guatemala, it's also working in Uganda. And right now it's little by little we are, hopefully this year we can be in other countries.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And are all these systems donated by this company?
Let's say 50-50. Yeah, they sell 50 and they donate 50% of the products that they send there.
And are you responsible for finding both the families that are willing to pay and those that will be donated to?
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
And is this in your community alone, or is it a greater outreach?
At the beginning, I started in my community, and then right now we are working all over Guatemala, and north, east, west, and south of Guatemala.
And how does it work? I mean, how many systems are coming over on a regular basis?
A year, let's say around 1,000 water filters.
1,000?
1,000.
And what is the goal? Is the goal to increase that? And do you have a lot of demand?
That is our goal, to help more people. But the budget, sometimes it's the issues because we don't find people who sponsor more families. Like a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you heard about the volcano in Guatemala.
Yes.
So the volcano erupted and makes disappear like an entire community. And there are many families who lost everything. So right now, and my goal is to think how we can help them. I wish we can find people who will sponsor them and take the water filters there and give it to them. Because they lost everything.
Sure.
House, land, furniture, and other families too.
And where do the sponsors come from?
From the States.
Mainly the States.
Yes,
okay.
especially from some church like Tennessee. There is a church that called Powell, United Methodist Church, so it sponsored some water filters.
And is this a full-time position for you?
It's a part-time job.
Okay. And how else are you spending your time?
A week, I spend like 3 days. 3 days a week working for Tiwawara. And also, I am an accountant. I have a degree as an accountant. So I'm just having my personal office, kind of a service office. So people who have business, I'm the one who tell them what to do about the taxes, when they have to pay, and how is the best way to do it. That's what
phenomenal.
I'm doing. Yes. And sometimes people, they come to me from my community like, can you help me with my English? Of course. That's why I started. That's what I do. And from my church, I am one of the leaders of my church, so we help people. We try, to help them spiritually, but also if they are hungry, we try to help them in different ways.
What are your long-term goals?
My long-term goals, is to have like a non-profit organization and give scholarship to the kids, because I know that they will have a better future. If I didn't, that's okay, but I want them to have a better life than I'm having right now. Give scholarship to them. That's my main goal.
Is that something you want to do where you're living in Guatemala?
I wish I can start next week.
Yeah.
Because there are many kids that they have skills, they are smart.
Sure.
Sadly, they don't have the resources to go to school. So that's my goal for my community right now.
And what's your community action plan?
When I came in the United States, my community action plan was to build one school. One. I was very negative. But since I work for different non-profit organizations. After I left Binghamton, of the knowledge that I got here, because I learned many things from your country, from your people. They opened my mind. They opened my eyes. When I got there, I started to think a little bit more different because of what I learned here in the United States, in Binghamton, at BCC. I went there. It took me around 5 years to build 17 schools.
Wow. And what does that mean? What is?
It means that not me, but I gave the idea to those people who make the dreams real, to change like 2,000 lives.
Yeah.
I was thinking to change 50 lives.
And where do you see that going? Do you want to continue to expand that?
Building school, maybe I will stop, because I realize that the government should do that. And thank God we have other non-profit organizations that are building. So, in my opinion, right now is to focus on scholarship. How we can take those kids, those youth, to grow.
Give them access to colleges.
Exactly.
Here in the States or around the world.
And my goal is this: if you have a very quality of education, you can change 5 more lives. If he has a good education, that person can make difference. I cannot do it by myself. But that's what I want to put in them, like a seed. Give you the seed, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Put more seeds. You change 5 lives, okay, those 5 people can change 10 more people. That's how it works, our world. But sometimes we are not able, or we don't want to see it in that way. But that's my goal.
It's wonderful. Diego, can you talk a little bit more about the school itself? So when you say built 17 schools, what does that mean? From the ground up, a new school was built?
Yes, I mean, we go to the community.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a building. They just writing on the dirt, on a rock, or something like that. And I wasn't happy with that. Our government does. I'm not, and I wasn't, and I won't. Do you want to see your kids learning in that way? No way. Wait a moment. It's a human. You know? So with that, seeing that situation, because I have that life, sitting on the floor where actually it's not the floor, it's just between plants and grass and trees and the mosquitoes, and then you are getting thirsty. And I wish some of the local government can have that experience, but they never had that, and I'm sure they won't. So that, that make me sad before, like, they should have a chair and learn as a human being. And there where I started with that building. And thank to your people. You have my respect. Your people, they supported us in different way. They trust in us. And thank to you because we have those schools there, the buildings. The kids are happy, playing around. That I couldn't see that before. But now, having that, it changed their lives. So what I have it before, like an experience, they are not having that anymore.
Right.
And that's what I wanted before for them.
And is this in 17 communities where? Where are these schools?
Mostly it's like center of Guatemala. Yeah, in part north of Guatemala, northeast.
Okay.
That is where I'm working because Guatemala has a 16 million population. 16, not 60. 16. And 80% of the population are Mayan.
Wow. 80%.
80%. So where I have been working, it has been mostly with the Mayan people. Of course, I'm not taking out the other culture, but I'm working with them. But I have been working most with the Mayan people. I can mention over there we don't call states, we call departments. Departments of Quiché, departments of Solola, departments of Huehuetenango, and part of San Marcos. That's where I have been working so far, the poorest community.
And how long did it take to put up these 17 schools?
5 years, almost 6 years, because I left here in 2013. The last one was at the beginning of this year that we finished to build. Not a huge building, 2-3 rooms, but
that's okay. That's a start.
It's how we can start.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. That's remarkable. There's not too many
Thank you.
people that can say in this world that they help build schools, one, let alone one, but 17. That's phenomenal. Like you said, giving thousands of children an opportunity. And,
Right.
and hopefully the next step is to generate more scholarships so they have the same opportunity you did.
Exactly. I hope, and I'm trying myself, to tell them. And that's what I'm saying at the beginning. To your people, never give up. Never. Many people will be coming and they will tell you, really, that is your dream? And you tell them yes, and they tell you, you can't do that because they never tried. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem. They have never done, and they tell you that you can't because they can't. And my advice to your people, to you do it. Try it. And there where you will see if you can or not, but you have to try it.
So what do you feel inside? Where does this passion and compassion come from? I know you talked about your faith.
Right.
But
What it makes me strong, why I'm doing this, just because of Jesus. If he gave his life on the cross, nobody can do it as a human being. But at least I say, if he did that for me, it's impossible for me to help other people, to be patient, for their dreams. No. If Jesus did that, why I'm not giving my life, for them, but I'm giving them a hand. And that's what it makes the difference inside of me. I'm your friend, okay. If I will tell you, look, they will crucify you. You might say, you might leave right now, I'm sure. Why? Because the love that Jesus had it's very different than we have. And I want to understand by doing this. And that way it makes me, nothing can stop me and nobody can stop me for my personal dreams and for my family's dream, for my friends' dreams. No. If Jesus did that on the cross, he gave his life. Why I'm not doing this? That's what I have here. Why?
What's your outlook on the world? Do you feel good about the direction of the world? Are you concerned? How do you feel?
I'm worried. I'm worried because our presidents, sadly, I'm not talking about just your president. I'm not talking about just my presidents. The entire world. They are taking care about them, not about our country. I'm sad about that, and I'm worried. Our president should serve us, not us. They're making business, they're making agreements because they are seeing their things.
But you don't feel they're putting the people first.
Exactly. They put themselves first. The issue here is the economic. That's what I don't hate politics. It's important to have it. But sadly, they do everything because of the money. I hope someday God will help us to change that and take care about each other. You hate this country? No, have peace. Let's make peace. That's how we should live. But they don't do that, and I say I'm worried, like, how it's going to look our world in 10 years. With the water, many pollution, warm.
That was my next question, is where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I wish to see my entire community helping other people, not because of me. I just want to be in a place that I can see them, that their life changed, and being an example to them how we can help other people. I mean, in 10 years, I want to be somebody who's saying, he did it. I want to do that too. And I always tell my family, my friends, please, I don't want you to reach the same goals that I reached already. I want you to go for more. I'm not a selfish person, but I tell that to them. And I tell you, if I reach something like this, okay, go for like double than that. That's what I want to see myself in 10 years, like being a good example to them.
Phenomenal. Well, look, this has been a very enlightening conversation. I think you're well beyond your years. You taught me a lot of things today, and I thank you for being here. One last question before I let you go. And you're young, so you have a lot of time left, but if you think about 30, 40, 50 years ahead, what do you want your legacy to be?
The legacy?
Your legacy. What do you want your whole life to mean?
Wow. I have to think it very well. Well, you know, I just wanted, you know, to live like a hope on to my community, to the people that know me, and have a better life. Before, we didn't have anything, no house, nothing. But I would like to have a place to stay, be happy, have a family, you know, family who can teach other people how to help each other. I mean, I'm not going to say I will have business and, you know, I want to teach people how to live their lives. Because sometimes we miss that. We give values of things and we don't give values to our family. So I want, you know, like, maybe not to say I'm going to leave this to people, no, but I want to teach them that as a lesson in their lives, that they should keep doing that. You have a family, share time with them. Yes, it's very important to work, but sadly, you know, today you are working hard. You give $10 to your son and you have no idea what he will do with the $10. But if you will spend time with your family, it's a different thing. You are giving your kids a better future. Why? Because you are spending time with them. And that's what I want, you know, to leave it to the people. Because my mom, you know, I would like to share that. Maybe I cannot explain it very well in English, but there is a phrase in Spanish that it says like, you want to leave something to your kid? Give time. Keep time, make time. Because what happens if you're not given time, and then later you want to spend time and you can't do it anymore? You have to know how to live with the time. Not the time makes you to live. You have to live with the time. People forget about it. They think that we will be living here for centuries. No. Short. And that's my last advice to anybody. Be happy what you have. Be happy. We're human. We have issues every day. But let's be happy what we have. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow will be different. We have to be strong. And that's my advice. Let's be happy. Our problems are not really bad like other people. And that's my advice to anybody. Be happy what you have. And let's be happy. Let's enjoy our lives. Because we will be here for a short time. And then after that, Diego won't be here anymore. But that's my advice. Let's be happy.
Phenomenal. Diego Xirum.
Got it.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time and your insight and inspiration. And we wish you all the best of luck. And let's stay in touch. You're now part of the American Real family.
Thank you so much. It's a blessing for me to share time with you, to your people. And I hope in 10 years I will be here and we will talk what we have done.
That would be phenomenal.
And I'm very happy and thank you for giving me. It's an honor for me to be here, to be in your program. And I wish you the best. And I'm sure there are more stories that are coming to help us to make this world better. a better world, a better life for our people. So thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you so much.